These things could be an NIL deal worth millions. Just something to think about. Just something to think about, Sellers.
But you can always change in the middle of the game.
Certainly
you never
good.
know.
This guy's really good, though. Yeah.
Out in the midst of this crowd, the Washington State flag, Old Crimson, 306 in a row. Stanford Steve has already picked them to beat Washington in the Apple Cup today. And there's some conference news, Pete Thamel, for the 2-pack that's growing into a full 6-pack.
Well, Reese, as a 6-pack, we know we'll have Pac-12 After Dark in some form come 2026. But the question about Pac-12 After Dark, well, what will it look like when the league comes to light? The one certainty that we know, Reese, is that this league will not have an automatic bid to the college football playoff. From there, 2 big questions loom. One is, what 2 teams will they add to make the 8-team league minimum? And the other is, how much money will they command from a media deal on the open market? As for targets, the dream scenario is Cal and Stanford come back west. That would necessitate some ACC uncertainty and is certainly not a guarantee. They'd go from there to target high-end American schools. Think Memphis, think South Florida, obviously think Tulane. Those schools, though, are making about $9 million a year in American, and there's no certainty that they'd make that much money in the Pac-12. And if they did, there's obviously extreme travel costs to play in a league like that. So for now, some questions loom as the 6-pack needs to grow to an 8-pack.
All right, Pete. We'll look for that coming up. A lot of realignment. Realignment never sleeps. Keep Pete Thamel up at night, trying to make sure everything is all squared away. Taking a look at the best fans anywhere on the Geico fan cam. They've been out since 3 a.m., camped out in the rain. Not only are we giving them a great show, but we are honored and privileged to give them a little entertainment along the line as well. You probably know that one of the greatest Gamecock fans of them all is Darius Rucker. Superstar singer, friend of the show, took time out of his schedule to come and perform for you guys today. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Darius Rucker.
Well, I ain't gonna work today. Just wanna sit around and play. I'm gonna hit balls off the dock. Kick back in my flip-flops. Don't owe nothing to the lender. Nothing spinning in the blender. The only thing on my agenda is beers and sunshine. Bonfires in summertime. Back porch nights in South Carolina. Ain't nothing finer than me and my girl striking up a little lighter. Everybody's down in the world going crazy. Don't know how to fix it, but I think maybe turn on the good times, turn off the TV. Yeah, the only BS I need is beers and sunshine. I'm gonna call my girl and say, let's get our friends and hit the lake. I'll grab a boat and get to floating. A little buzzed and a little toasted. We're gonna hang and have a little fun now. Flying high like we'll never come down. We're gonna go until we run out of beers and sunshine. Bonfires in summertime, back porch nights in South Carolina. Ain't nothing finer than me and my girl striking up a little lighter. Everybody's down in the world going crazy. Don't know how to fix it, but I think maybe turn on the good times, turn off the TV. Yeah, the only BS I need is beers and sunshine.
Here in Columbia, we'll hear more from Darius Rucker. What a treat to have a legend like that play Broadway last night, Virginia Beach tonight, and he's here in Columbia this morning.
Beers and sunshine.
Military veteran and USAA member Sam Elliott, I'm Gronk, your new roommate.
Roommate?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been trying to join USAA for years.
Gronk, you know it's for the military community and their families.
I know I can't join, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck, both USAA insured. Roomie?
Roomie.
USAA, Auto, Home, Life, and Bank.
Big Ten, it's an honor to be here. To be among teams with so much tradition. Age-old practices from generations long ago. We'll do our best to keep up. With respect, Oregon.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
This is not a drill. Subway dropped the price on all of their subs. 20% off any sub, any size.
Subway did what? Any sub?
Yep. For a limited time, you get 20% off when you order in the app. Hurry and get this deal before it's gone.
Yo, for $5, these are prime time deal.
This, or this?
Oh.
For $5, legendary.
These deals, prime time, only at KFC. Way back, baby.
Listen, it's all about winning in the trenches.
Come on, Bobby. You need a superstar quarterback.
Superstar. Always with the superstar.
Let me guess. You're one of those underdog guys.
Everyone loves an underdog. I'm taking him straight up on ESPN Bet tonight.
Good call, Bobby.
Ground and pound, baby. Y'all lost your minds. Are we watching the same league?
Yeah, let me get a Mad Dog.
Mad Dog? When did he get his own sandwich?
He's a local legend.
I gotta find me a New Delhi.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Georgia on the road against a conference opponent.
The #1 Bulldogs face the Wildcats in Lexington.
Georgia looks to once again prove they're the best in the nation.
Georgia at Kentucky, tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
I'm not alone on this mountain. I've got friends, teammates, and some doubters too. That's okay. Don't let the world tell you who you are.
This will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word. Soda! Because this is Poppy, and Poppy is soda. It tastes like soda, even better than others. It looks like soda, smells like soda, and fizzes like soda. Because it is soda. It will be the soda your kids and grandkids think of when they think of soda. And that's because this soda has none of the bad stuff. Instead, it has all of the flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy.
Whatever life throws your way, just click through your day.
There he is, Darius Rucker. Now, our special thanks to Wheels Up for making sure Darius could get here this morning. As I mentioned, played in Raleigh last night, Virginia Beach, I believe, tonight. And here it is beloved South Carolina, where Brian Kelly walking into Williams-Brice Stadium. Bayou Bengals have dominated the Gamecocks.
Good man. That's good ball, coach.
On ABC. Just over 2 hours. One of the games in the SEC today. Hotty Toddy hitting the road for the first time at Wake Forest. Rebels have scored more points than anyone in the country, and Jackson Dart has thrown for more yards than anyone. He also is a dynamic guy on the ground. Texas, after beating Michigan, they've got to deal with UTSA. By the way, former UTSA edge rusher Trey Moore plays against his old team, looking for his first sack as a Longhorn. And tonight, Georgia and Kentucky. Carson Beck has been strong. This little bit of subplot here. Kentucky quarterback Brock Vandagriff and their defensive leader, Jamon Dumas-Johnson, former Georgia players. Pop Johnson was a star, and he was a Butkus Award finalist and an All-American type guy. What do you expect here tonight from the game, or rather from the Wildcats and the Dogs?
I think first, if you look at all those games, one of the big things Nick Saban talked about early in the show was about playing to a standard. Not going up and down and up and down. I know Sark actually showed some video of Notre Dame, their loss last week, to remind his team, hey, don't look past any opponent. I think some of these games are that kind of game. Maybe the name on the other side, you look at that helmet, you're not necessarily fired up about it. But, man, it's a real test to me of the maturity of how these teams handle these kind of games.
Yeah, but I think that's what Georgia really has.
Yeah.
You know, Georgia's established an identity as a team. They're physical up front on both sides of the ball. They can make explosive plays. They have a good quarterback. They were concerned about the running back situation. Well, Nate Frazier solved that as a freshman. All right, so, and they play the same kind of defense that they've always played. So if you've ever seen them play in the past, they've created the same identity now. That's what Kentucky has not been able to do. You know, they couldn't run the ball. The quarterback struggled. They struggled in protection. They couldn't stop the run. So I think Georgia right now, to me, is a team that has the best identity of any team in the country.
Well, don't look now, Coach. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin are kind of doing their thing. 72-zip first week, 52-3 second week. Now, obviously, it's far inferior opponents, but them being able to put people away that they're supposed to put away maybe is a sign of maturity. Jackson Dart obviously singing it. He's averaging over 400 yards a game, 8 touchdowns. They get a transfer from South Carolina and Juice Wells, who's their number 2 wide receiver behind Trey.
Are they saying Juice?
Yeah, they still got a lot of love for him. He's great at football, and Lane Kiffin is certainly finding him the rock. They got 2 transfers on the offensive line from Washington that won the Joe Moore Award trophy last year for best offensive line in football. So the line's solid. The D-line has 2 transfers in, one from Texas A&M and one from Florida. They're playing well. This might be the year for Lane Kiffin, Coach Saban, and I'm thankful that you were on the game day set while it all happens.
Hey, Kirk, you mentioned the Longhorns. Now, when they were in Ann Arbor a week ago, coming into that game, don't forget, come out of camp, they got their 2 starting running backs hurt. They bring in this kid, Blue.
Yeah.
He has a fantastic game. They get Isaiah Bond in the transfer portal. We think he's going to be like their go-to guy. Tight end Gunnar Ham had almost 100 yards receiving against Michigan. They got weapons all over the field. October 19th, Coach, when they played Georgia, I think those 2 rosters, they match up kind of evenly. That's when we're going to see where both teams are.
You mentioned Sark showing them Notre Dame. He could just show them Texas from last year. They played Wyoming the week after they beat Alabama. Fourth quarter, 10-10, after they allowed the Cowboys to hold the ball for the entire third quarter.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of experience on their own. Texas A&M and Florida, both with some quarterback questions. Pete Thamel, what do you got on what's going on there today?
Well, with Connor Wegman, Reese, I've been told he's a legitimate game-time decision in the Swamp today. Wegman's in dealing with an upper body injury. He's been limited in practice. He's going to go out there and warm up, and the coaching staff and the medical staff are going to make a decision on whether or not he plays today. Marcel Reed, a redshirt freshman, would get his first career start if he doesn't go. For Florida, Graham Mertz will be out there first, but we're going to see plenty of DJ Lagway as well.
You guys saw Marcel Reed in the bowl game last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be an interesting opportunity for him. He's a great player.
His dad, Rod, former coach at Tennessee State, was there right before Eddie George took over.
Montgomery Bell Academy, young man.
Yeah, there you go. It's no Avon Old Farm, so it's not bad.
Get it in.
I know, I got to get it in.
Last stand here with the Gators. This is it. Both quarterbacks are playing.
This is it.
This is it for me. This is it. Home dog.
I'm with you. It's like,
give me the Gators. I mean, you got to get it here. And then you guys touched on Texas and Georgia. The third most impressive team to me is Tennessee. I don't care. They're giving 49 points today.
I didn't do a good enough sell on Ole Miss. I didn't give good enough. I broke down every position.
They played
got
a run
better
game today. We see a little bit more. All right. Tennessee's right up there.
All right.
Hey, we talk about that Georgia-Texas game. Georgia's got to go to Oxford, too. It's in November, long way away. Here's what we have in store. Triple header from the SEC today. LSU, South Carolina on ABC. A&M, Florida after that, and the nightcap. Number 1 team in the land taking on the Wildcats, 7:30 Eastern time. And now, we're going to move inside the stadium later on today, so we got to have an early breakfast.
Okay. Hey, high society.
That's a first.
This is real.
That's a first.
Reese, we got Hall's Chop House, and we all went here on Thursday night. The only thing better than the food was the hospitality.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
We got seafood tower. Okay, tomahawk steak.
What do you have here?
How are you?
The pepper jack.
Hey, Mr. Hall, I'm Pat McAfee.
What cake do we have here?
Got good meat, sir.
Supreme corn.
Caramel cake?
I don't mess with wow. I don't do this, but it looks great. I'll try it.
Come on, try it.
Get it, Biff.
I heard you hooked the crew up Thursday night. That's awesome.
I need a fork.
Hey, what's up?
Can I get a knife and a fork? Hey, let me do it.
Oh, yeah.
Jess was doing work on these Thursdays.
I was. Wow, when you brought me out in front of everyone, I had like 5.
I know. Can I get a... Man, oh, man.
Look at your cake.
I know, but they didn't cut it. I got to get a piece over here.
That's good
whole
news.
thing's
Sorry,
for
buddy.
you.
That's okay. Sorry.
That was awesome.
Don't make it happen, Captain.
Mr. Hall, that's just some good meat you got here, sir.
All right, listen up. Your fire defense isn't cutting it, and it's almost game time.
Hey, you need killer alarms in every room. We're playing zone defense. I mean, fires can happen anywhere.
Like here. Here too. Des, you can't handle the heat.
Huddle up, stay fit, and fuel your fandom. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official hotel partner of the NCAA.
Check engine light on? There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler.
Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you.
Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts.
While others give you less, Domino's wants to give you more. For a limited time, when you order any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade one to a large for free. Get more inflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's.
You know, Coach Prime, it's nice to finally have some free time. Gives you a chance to reflect on the important things.
Like how Aflac pays people money for the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Health insurance does leave a gap.
But Aflac gives people money to help close that gap. Oh, Coach Prime got one on the line too, baby.
See, that's how you hold up a trophy. Trust me.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Aflac is an official sponsor of ESPN College Gameday.
I hope y'all hungry.
I'm glad I brought my own dinner.
This is not a drill. Subway dropped the price on all their subs. 20% off any sub, any size.
Subway did what? Any sub?
Yep. For a limited time, you get 20% off when you order it now. Hurry and get this deal before it's gone.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. New Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
I'm not alone on this mountain. I've got friends, teammates, and some doubters too. That's okay. Don't let the world tell you who you are.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Have you heard? Soda's not a dirty word anymore. Introducing Poppy, the best thing to happen to lemon lime since, well, lemons and limes. It's the iconic, refreshing flavor you crave, but with 3 grams of sugar. Real lemon, real lime, real juicy flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy. Poppy, soda's back.
I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good-looking woman with her arms around me. Here in a small town where it feels like home. I got everything I need
and nothing that I don't. Man, what a morning here in Columbia as we've hit the top of the hour. As we told you, glad to have our friends from DirecTV back here. And we are delighted to have even the youngest Gamecock fans.
That's right. That kid was out here at 4 a.m.
Got to train the child up in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
That's the SEC, baby.
That's it. And the Bible. South Carolina Sandstorm.
Amen.
Amen. There you go. Can I get an amen from you? $45,000 on the line in Pat's field goal kicking contest. We'll see if we can have a winner to sort of top off this morning at some point. And the great Dawn Staley, natural-born winner, Olympian, national champion, WNBA All-Star. But can she win at making kicks? And Jess, who do you have with you this morning?
Reese, I am here with Columbia's Mayor, Daniel Rickman. Thank you so much for having us. We hear you have a very special announcement about today.
I do, and welcome to Columbia, South Carolina. We love having ESPN College Gameday here. Come on, let's get it going.
Hell yeah, Mr. Mayor.
It's so unbelievable, but you know what College Gameday does for our athletes, our communities, our colleges is unbelievable. So we wanted to take it up another level. So today, on behalf of myself and all of City Council, we are declaring this ESPN College Gameday in Columbia, South Carolina, and here's a proclamation.
Wow.
Okay. Come on, let's hear it,
incredible.
We got a day.
Ultimate honor, and I hear you have one more surprise for a special person.
Well, we do. You know, we love the coach here. And we know he's going to do the right thing today, and he's going to put the right hat on today. But we don't want you to wait 10 years to come visit us again. So we want to present you the key to the city and know that you get welcome anytime, Coach.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
That is absolutely beautiful. Reese, I think that's a good bribe. Do you think that he's going to choose that headgear or what?
He'll give him the old
okey-doke, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
You think that's his first key to the city, huh?
I wonder how many keys to cities LC has.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, look who's here, the head coach of the Gamecocks, Shane Beamer. He will join us coming up in just a little bit here on College Gameday as he tries to continue to have his team improve week to week, which they certainly did from week 1 to week 2, and now coming in with a difficult challenge. A high-powered LSU team coming in with an improved defense, young quarterback that has been terrific. LSU coming in 1-1 record. Gamecocks are headed in to Williams-Brice Stadium for this showdown on ABC. At the top of the hour. It's been a theme through the first few weeks of the season. Inconsistent starts. You look at Notre Dame after the big win at College Station. 4-touchdown favorite against the Huskies of Northern Illinois. Couldn't get it done. Riley Leonard also a little banged up. Michigan, totally rebuilt offense, and they faced against the team that might win the national championship in Texas. But they were overwhelmed, and the offense didn't really look good in week 1 either. The Penn State defense was pretty good against West Virginia in a hostile environment, but then last week against Bowling Green had to pull one out of the fire late. Oklahoma's offense was dreadful against Houston, fewest yards in a home game since 2005. Sooners have Tennessee coming up in a couple of weeks. And Alabama, first 3 quarters against USF, it was a penalty fest. They turned the ball over a lot. 1-point lead on the Bulls. Now, to their credit, they did have explosive plays and ended up winning comfortably. The number of teams that have been ranked to lose, already 11 through week 2 of the season. There have been a dozen more one-score games. Numbers tied for the second most since 1950. And it really brings up something that Nick said at the top of the show about playing to a standard and trying not to go up and down with the competition. And Kirk, I mean, look, this has happened for a long time, but it seems to be accelerated and even more difficult these days.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, in my opinion, defenses early in games in September, they're always ahead of the offense. The offense is trying to build continuity, chemistry, timing, rhythm. So it takes a little bit of time, especially for inexperienced teams or transfer portal where you're trying to come together. So that's not the thing that I think is unusual. The thing that I think is concerning for coaches is the roller coaster ride that you talked about in the A's, just about how it's hard to get a team to buy in, and it's almost a faceless opponent approach. Your teams were very good at that, but we're seeing a lot of, we're playing a good team, let's get up. We're playing these guys, let's just show up and go through the motions. How do you guard against that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is how do you have a consistent mindset on your team? You know, I talked yesterday a little bit about relief syndrome. You have a big win, everybody's relieved. It creates a little complacency. You don't prepare the right way. Complacency creates a blatant disregard for doing what's right. And then on the other hand, you have these teams that have these tremendous expectations, which our 2022 team with Bryce Young and Will Anderson, great expectation. They were so anxious that their preparation did not always equate to good performance in the game. They worked hard, they had the right focus, but they had so much anxiety about being afraid to make a mistake and not doing the right things that I think it affected their performance. So I felt like I did a poor job of maintaining that balance on the team, because you got to go out there and just let it loose and play and compete and have fun.
So I know it's very new for college, and everything you're saying is obviously incredibly valid. You're the greatest of all time. But there's been free agency in the NFL for a long time. It's obviously happening at a rapid rate now in college football. There's an old adage in the NFL where you have to build your team through your guys. You have to make your culture. And then you find free agents that come in and they assimilate to your culture. Anytime your free agents become your culture, when push comes to shove, when there's a close one, when you need it at the end, normally those teams are going to buckle because the foundation isn't as solid. I'm excited to see how college in the transfer portal and how many players get brought in and what positions continue to happen and evolve as the free agency of college football catches up to what the NFL has had for a long time.
Yeah, you guys talked about playing to a standard. That's what Coach talked about earlier. And as a former player, I completely understand, because that was our mantra. Let's play to our standard no matter who the team is. But with free agency in college football now, the issue is you're bringing in these big pieces that's supposed to complete the puzzle, and they may not know what the standard is, or especially early in the season, they may not have bought into the standard. So I think that's the issue. What I love, Coach, any team that I was on that was a fantastic or a great team, even the team that won the Super Bowl, we had great veteran leadership in the locker room. There's only so much you and your staff can do. But then we have to police ourselves, and we have to make the new guys understand this is how we do things here. If you're going to be a part of it, you got to get the hell out. Yeah. I don't think that teams are like that nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Player-led is dangerous. It's like a secret weapon. His teams used to always have that. Yeah. But I think you helped create that, right? The players.
That was the whole goal. But, what makes it more difficult now is all the external factors. There's a lot of noise in these guys' ears from their family, from the fans, from the internet. Yeah. I mean, and they're affected by that. And True. You got this culture of everybody changing. Exactly. And now you got to deal with all these external factors. Yep. I mean, it's really hard to keep the right mindset on your team. Yep. And the more mature teams with great leadership, I think, do have a better chance to do that.
Talking to Rodney Gilmore, who's calling the Oklahoma State-Tulsa game today. Oklahoma State, big comeback win, overtime victory against Arkansas. Yeah. He says Gundy all week has been going, it's a trap, it's a trap, it's a trap. When do you recognize if your players are hearing that message in the middle of the season?
Anytime you have a big win and everybody's telling you how good you are, that's a trap. Yep. Because players are affected by that. And then they don't pay attention to detail. They don't prepare the right way. They develop bad habits, and they start showing up in the game, which costs you games, especially in critical situations when you can't be your best when your best is needed.
To be clear, he said on my show yesterday, he won a national championship, and then by 1 a.m., he was already trying to figure out how to recruit the next class, what they were going to do to repeat and recycle. Not everybody's built that way. We'll see if there's enough people in this younger generation, not that our generation had it figured out. I liked enjoying wins as much as the next guy. Let's not get that crazy, but it does feel as if there's an instant gratification. Can we stay focused? Are we still hungry? We can move away from adversity. It's a wild time, but I think the true programs with the true coaches are going to show up in the end. The culture's going to show up.
Yep. The warnings have been signaled. The alarm bells are going off, and we'll see who just flat out ignores them today, because it happens every week.
Someone will.
Somebody, one of those Saturdays?
One of those Saturdays. Yeah. Some upsets.
Today, one of the great scenes and spectacles in all of college football will happen at Jackson State. Nick, how many people are you going to have there at Jackson State today? How many?
Supposed to have 55,000 students at this game today. Big game.
We were there last year, right?
Yes, sir. They'll see the game. They'll see a great show, too, Des. As you look at this, these two bands certainly go off at each other.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I think the game is like secondary to the band, the battle of the bands, the sonic boom. That's all you hear about from people who are part of the HBCU. And when these two teams meet, the battle of the bands takes front seat.
I was at that.
That's been good, too. Hey, Steve, this Morehouse and Howard, they're playing in MetLife. You went down to Howard this week, right?
Went down to Howard, met Coach Larry Scott this week and his staff. The team is super pumped for this opportunity to play in an NFL stadium.
So that game's at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and Johnny Williams has had a good start for Morehouse, and then Howard. Howard's had opportunities in the early part of the season, pull off big wins. They'd love to get one today. This is the Buffalo Wild Wings weekend menu. Some notable HBCU games today, North Carolina Central and North Carolina on ESPN+. By the way, want to send out our best to Max Johnson from North Carolina as he recovers from his injury. South Carolina State at Georgia Southern, Tennessee State and Eddie George against Arkansas Pine Bluff. That comes your way at 7 o'clock Eastern time. This week, some really tough news for all people in college football, particularly those at the University of Michigan. Longtime Michigan athletic counselor Greg Harden passed away following complications from surgery. Now, for 34 years, he was in the athletic department and had a remarkable impact on a number of athletes, most notably the impact he had on you, Desmond.
Yeah, first I'd like to offer my condolences to his wife, Shalala, his sons, Brian and Victor, his daughter Olivia, and his sister Lynette. And a special thank you to everyone who reached out to me the last couple of days. It's been really tough. I've been grieving. But Greg was he was a titan. Greg was a person who he just wanted to build people up. He believed in self-mastery, and he believed that he wanted to get the best version out of you. And that's what he taught. That's what he preached. Coach Harbaugh said that his mission, Greg's mission, was to help people find their purpose. And he was very selfless in that mission. When I was with Greg in Michigan, I wanted to transfer, and I talked to him, and he said, he'd give you tough love. And he said, what makes you think that things are going to be better at another school? Why do you think the grass is going to be greener on another side of the fence? And I said, okay, Mr. Harden, I'm going to ride with you. And I left Michigan with a degree in 4 years and the Heisman. And since then, we've been best friends. So, it was a tough loss. It's a huge loss. The Wolverines take the field with a heavy heart. But my friend, Walter Smith, he sent me a text of a quote, a minister who knew Greg. He said, Greg was truly God's gift to humanity. And that's what he meant to everyone who crossed paths with Greg. So, Greg, I love you. I will miss you. But just like I did while you were still here, I will always honor you and make sure I give you your flowers. Rest in peace, Greg Harden.
Our condolences to you. I know what Greg meant to you. He was often referred to as Michigan's secret weapon, a mentor, a remarkable man who had a huge impact on the success of many, many Wolverine legends. Our condolences to his many friends and family.
Coach Gecko!
Coach G. Laura, Dan. I didn't realize the media would be here.
No, this isn't for work. We're just really big fans.
And we're scouting for our fantasy insurance teams.
Geico has all the top prospects, a 97% satisfaction rating. That's unreal.
Oh my gosh, it's Drew! Drew! Smells like insurance. Suppose Geico does have devoted fans. It's not weird.
Jade, sign my arm.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
She only signs claims checks.
The best AI assistant isn't one that knows the whole world. It's one that knows your world. A custom assistant built on Watson X with IBM's Granite models can leverage your trusted data, be easily trained on your workflows, and integrate with your apps. It can be tuned to do just what you need, because the more AI knows about your world, the more it can help you do. IBM, let's create.
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
What does an opportunity economy look like? Tax cuts for working families. Billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share. It increases stability and security, gives people a true opportunity to get ahead. It's a very different vision than Donald Trump's. His plans will raise costs and taxes on the vast majority of Americans. We need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Order Pizza Hut now and get a free large pizza later. That's a free pizza on your next order. So you can pizza now, then pizza again. Free pizza means your next dinner is covered. Your future self will thank you. Get it while it's hot. Only at Pizza Hut.
My blood pressure is borderline. I can worry about it or do something about it.
Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula works safely and naturally with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic.
Love your phone, but not the cost of your current plan? No problem with Straight Talk. Bring the phone you love and get one line for $25 a month when you switch to Straight Talk. That's up to half off the price of the competition. Plus, the best part of all, get a $200 credit for a new phone after 12 months. With Straight Savings, you save now and later. It just makes sense. Straight Talk. Real unlimited data. Less dollars, more sense.
We've never spoken, but you've told us many things. That you love stargazing, hate parallel parking, and occasionally your right foot gets a little heavy. The Lexus ES didn't begin in the studio, it began with you.
Like this ever again in your life. It's a one-of-one.
A love letter to Mexican combat sports inside Sphere.
There's bad blood attached to this fight. The trilogy fight to end the rivalry.
On September 14th at Sphere, the greatest live sporting event of all time.
Let's go, baby!
Inside 2 hours away from kickoff, South Carolina and LSU. College Game Day, back at the home of the Gamecocks for the first time in more than a decade. Dawn Staley, they do love her here. She'll be our celebrity guest picker. Look at DJ Griffin there, waving the towel as they will when Sandstorm plays today in Williams-Brice. And they did right at the beginning, too. Oh, there you go. They're making fun of Brian Kelly's accent. Lenore Sanders is going to go with the contacts. And look at they got PK knocked down.
They got some really interesting signs here, too.
Well, yes.
They do. No, they do. They took their time. They did their homework.
I saw the one where they beat us in 2010 after we'd won 19 games in a row. That one's pretty prevalent out there. I remember.
See what I'm saying? They did their homework. These guys are on top of their game.
Freight Beamer's in town, too. We'll see it someplace. Come on, Nick.
Come on, what you doing?
What do you say, Nick?
They don't want to see that.
Shout out to Angel Reese at LSU. LSU and South Carolina have had some battles. No, it's not. It's a Darius Rucker concert. He'll play again for us later on.
That's right. Can't wait.
That's the proper way on the Bayou to spell Corso. Man, you remember back in the day, option football. That when football was real football, the true triple with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
J.C. Watts.
You know, we played them when I was at West Virginia, and the field was so tilted so that they could stretch the field horizontally downhill with speed. You couldn't even see the other sidelines.
Hey, look at this. Mickey Joseph, the Grambling coach, running option at Nebraska, too. Hey, you know what? You think that this is a relic of days gone by in the service academies? No, Nick tells you differently in the film room.
Offenses are always looking for new ways to attack, different twists. And in the case of the triple option, it's really just old school stuff with a new look.
Well, you know, people used to run the wishbone, dive, quarterback pitch, used to run split back veer, same thing. Now it doesn't appear to be that way, all right? But you can move the point of attack on the run when you run options. So we're going to have a dive, we're going to have a quarterback fake, keep the ball, and then number 81 is going to come over and be the pitch man. So the big thing is we can move the point of attack on the run, which forces the defense to play disciplined football. Who has the dive, who has the quarterback, who has the pitch. Now in this case right here, 81, somebody takes him, so he just blocks the guy, right, and Jalen runs for a touchdown. So explosive play.
So you got 81, not just a quarterback, he's also reading too.
He can read, and you can also block the guy that has the quarterback. Now, same situation here. You're going to see this guy come down the field. This guy now is going to run an arc pop pass. This guy is going to become the pitch man. Here's the dive. Here's the quarterback coming out. Now, on this particular play, nobody takes the pop pass. Quarterback hands off the dive, but you're going to see in the press box that guy is really open. All right, so somebody's telling the quarterback, next time we run that play, make sure you check the pop pass.
And so here comes the play again.
Here comes the very same play again. We'll just let it run. Nobody, flat defender doesn't take the guy running the wheel route, which is the pop pass. See somebody not farming their own territory, and you give up an explosive play.
And by farming your own territory, you mean the defensive guys have to take their assignment no matter what else happens, right?
Play their responsibility, be disciplined. All right, now on this one, let's pause this. You're going to have dive. Here comes your pitch guy. This guy can be your run out pop pass guy. Quarterback's going to pull the ball this time. Bring it on out. They got a guy taking the pitch like he's supposed to. Again, undisciplined, comes off the pitch. All right, takes the quarterback. Quarterback pitches the ball. Another explosive play on the pitch.
And in the old school option, the pitch, when people think of it, was a lateral backward. So it really very similar, except now down the field attack with the third option.
Yeah, it's a built-in sort of RPO that goes with the option that adds another element, which makes it even more difficult for the defense to play with discipline.
Is this cheating by the offense against the defense?
No, it's all legal.
I didn't say that. I said, was it cheating your defenses?
Well, you know, that's why you hire these offensive guys, so they figure out ways to beat the defense.
You'll see a lot of that, no matter which game you watch in college football today.
And if defenses don't farm their own territory, there are no need for field goals. You just score touchdowns. But there are opportunities to make field goals for money, Pat.
Welcome.
Let's go.
Beautiful Columbia. This is Joshua Watson, sophomore business major. He's going to be attempting the $45,000 kick today. Joshua, before we introduce the legend here, have you ever said anything terrible about kickers before?
All the time.
Why?
It's just so easy. They aren't real kickers. Like, it's not a sport.
Okay. Have you ever kicked a football before?
No.
Are you going to make this?
Have you ever had a beer before? Because it seems like it.
No, I haven't.
No, completely sober?
Yes, sir.
You never kicked a football before?
No, sir. But I'm going to make it because it's easy.
Okay, relax, dude. Darius Rucker is obviously here, one of the biggest Gamecocks fans on earth. I know you're nervous to meet him. Darius, you have anything to say to Joshua here?
Joshua, $45,000. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna put 15 more this week, $60,000.
Oh!
Let's go!
Can I get some even if I don't make it?
No! It's America. You got to earn that thing, brother.
All right.
Joshua, 33 yards. It's $60,000 with another 15 from Hootie. And for the walk-on for Jake, Dad Stevenson, he's going to donate $2,500 to this foundation. We'll donate $60 to this as well. So if you end up making a kick.
Let's get some line.
$120,000. There's kids climbing in trees. There's people going bananas. There's booze everywhere, and you can change some lives. Let's have a morning, Josh.
Here's my only concern here. These people need to be ready.
Yeah, heads up. Those are his friends, I do believe. We got a For the Brand shirt there. Darius putting up 15 racks. I like that.
You ready?
Was that because you have no faith in the kid?
No, I think he's gonna make it.
Okay.
I think he's gonna make it.
You do?
I think he's gonna make it.
Good luck, brother. No.
You got no shot.
All the trash you talked on kickers, calling them bums. Joshua, you're a good man.
Who got no shot?
$120,000.
Be ready, kid.
$60,000 to a scholarship. $60,000 in your pocket.
I told you.
He lost his
Worst kick of all time. Worst kick
than the ball.
Worst kick of all time. Shoes over there. Ball is here. This guy sucks. You don't want that again. Sorry,
I think Pat's been saving his money since he had to give away some.
We will still donate. This kid sucks. Back to you, Rich.
Okay. What Pat was saying there, he's still donating to the foundation because that's the kind of guy he is, but not because of the kick, which certainly Gamecock fans hope is not an omen for what's coming their way later on. Noon on ESPN2. We touched on this game a few moments ago. Gundy has been saying It's a trap. They've won 9 in a row against their in-state foes. Let's call it rival. Call it a foe. Hour and a half and change away from kickoff there. Ollie Gordon averaging less than 3 yards per carry after contact, trying to get him loose. Florida State trying to avoid an 0-3 start for the 3rd time in 5 seasons under Mike Norvell. They face his former employer, Memphis. Memphis following this transfer portal model, too. They brought in 29 new guys. Wow. They're off to a better start. This feels like season on the brink for Florida State.
Absolutely.
For this one. Yes. Great teachers can change lives, and ESPN supports the College Football Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week each year to celebrate great teachers across the country. They've inspired so many. Nominate a great teacher in your community. Visit cfpfoundation.org. We've got a lot more to come on College Game Day. Bama versus the Badgers. And the Tide play a little more consistently. Can Wisconsin find some explosive plays? They haven't been able to do that very well. And Sandstorm. How did this EDM song come to be an anthem here in Columbia for South Carolina?
Probably wouldn't be a hum. It's more like a doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. I'm not going to do the rest of it.
Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more to come on College Game Day. But first, please join me in hearing a quick word from Buffalo Wild Wings.
So, I like honey barbecue, you like honey barbecue. I like football, I think you like football. We're like the brothers we never had.
No, I have a brother.
But does he have time for you?
I guess he doesn't.
Yeah, because I feel like he'd be here if he did.
What's up with your dad, Chloe?
Ever since he got AT&T's best deal on the new Samsung Galaxy, he's been up on his high horse.
Best deal got me feeling like a big old cowboy.
That's a very high horse. Perhaps you can wait in the waiting room?
I'll just go wait in the waiting room.
Ride high with AT&T's best deal on the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6.
USAA. You could be eligible if your spouse, parents, or even your grandparents served.
That was it. You're in.
As a veteran, I'm already in. USAA. Are you eligible?
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Sis? Is this dog food in your fridge?
It's not dog food. It's Fresh Pet. Real meat, real veggies.
Seems like a lot of space to waste on a dog.
You're all the family I need.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
This is not a drill. Subway dropped the price on all of their subs. 20% off any sub, any size.
Subway did what? Any sub?
Yep. For a limited time, you get 20% off when you order it now. Hurry and get this deal before it's gone.
Do the Ravens have it this year? Can Lamar get it done?
They're trying to write us off. Y'all got it? Yeah, hard.
Oh, you know we got it. Yup. That's right.
Oh, you know we got it. That dog. Oh, you know we got it. That fight. Oh, you know we got it. Y'all ready? Oh, you know we got it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. He ain't never gonna stop us, cause
USAA member Sam Elliott, I'm Gronk, your new roommate.
Roommate?
I can't join USAA, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck. Both USAA insured.
USAA. Auto, home, life, and bank.
What if you didn't have to choose? What if you could plot a course and take your own detours? What if curiosity could take you across the world? What if you could join a family and add to its legacy? What if your only choice was everything?
Do you have trouble sleeping? Well, we
may have just the thing to help. Watch Bedtime Stories with Ryan on demand on Fubo.
Sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
College Gameday is brought to you by Geico. Check out College Gameday on social to get more fan cam action.
We wanted to contribute to the atmosphere when Sandstorm plays, so some custom College Gameday rally towels created for everyone here on site. You'll see them in Williams-Brice Stadium today. You're seeing them right now here in Gamecock Park just outside. Great crowd this morning before South Carolina and LSU. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, road tested, game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. Let's check in on this week's Home Depot Doer of the Week, Jonathan and Keena Robinette from Charlotte, North Carolina, just an hour or so away from where we are in Columbia. They are our Home Depot Doers of the Week. Do you have any idea who this guy is? I mean, he's as big a part of South Carolina football lore as Steve Tannehill, Sterling Sharp, George Rogers. Oh, okay, maybe I get carried away because nobody's as big a deal as Big George, but it's easy to see why Finnish EDM artist Darude is a really big deal, and you can get carried away by him because he is the guy who produced and recorded Sandstorm. And as Ryan McGee tells us, every time the first note of that hits in Williams-Brice, all the Gamecocks get carried away.
Helsinki is 4,708 miles from Columbia. The capital of Finland and the capital of South Carolina are near total opposites, from industry to air temperature. But a storm that was born on the Baltic sweeps over Williams-Brice Stadium every fall Saturday.
Yeah.
It's more like a doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. I'm not gonna do the rest of it.
The Gamecocks take the field as underdogs against the Ole Miss Rebels.
You're producing a game from that position. You're trying to give your team the best chance to win. And we had a list of what we call hot songs when you play when there's a momentum shift in the game. And Sandstorm was on there. You kind of felt that moment coming.
That moment happened 15 years ago. 4th-ranked Ole Miss, unranked South Carolina. Clinging to a 6-point lead, the Gamecocks sought some sort of, yes, spur.
It came down to the final possession. We had a shot to win it, and our defense, which was the strength of that team, was on the field at the time. That's sort of the birth, if you call it.
And the raid breaks out in Columbia.
Can't put it in words. I was coaching with Coach Spurrier when they played Sandstorm the first time.
It got pretty loud, and then I think they had to call a timeout, get a play in. We played it right back over again, which was the unusual part, and the crowd just took it even to another level.
4th down, upcoming with 1:22 to go.
I kind of got a little frightened because the press box started shaking a little bit, and we win the game.
The Gamecocks with the biggest upset in the history of Williams-Brice Stadium.
Over the next decade, that Scandinavian sand danced its way into every corner of Gamecocks country.
We may. It's funny. I go to a South Carolina wedding, I hear Sandstorm. It's just kind of, it is what it is.
A techno beat that reverberated from the Atlantic to the Appalachians, finally reaching a former South Carolina assistant coach.
I was coaching at Oklahoma, and I really wanted this job. I would walk in the kitchen in our house, and my wife and kids would immediately start playing Sandstorm.
Marcus Lattimore committed to play for South Carolina. It was at a church, and he announced he was going to South Carolina, and then Sandstorm started playing. And I just looked at my wife, and I was like, that's not normal. Like, this is kind of a thing now.
I remember my first time, it was like my heart was just beating. The crowd was going crazy, the towels and stuff.
It's really just something as a team where we all come together. This is our last chance. Let's really dominate.
Since that day in 2009, the Gamecocks have stormed their way to a home record of 72-30. All that was missing from that home was the creator himself, Darude. Last fall, a Finnish DJ once again ruled the place they call Willie B, but this time in person.
I got to go and play the track. I also got to experience it from the sideline.
And yes, South Carolina won.
I think he was blown away by it. I don't think he had any idea really the magnitude of the song that he created here in Columbia, South Carolina, and in Williams-Brice Stadium.
Great Ryan McGee on that story. And now, here he comes in his 4th year, the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Here's Shea Beamer.
Hell yeah.
You know what? It's a real shame that you can't get them into football here. What are you going to do about that?
I told Pat yesterday, you just wait. And we've got the most amazing fans in the entire world. We knew they would show up today, and this is going to become a regular occurrence around here, you guys coming to Columbia.
Shane, I see your dad over there, Frank, who's one of the greatest coaches of all times in terms of building the program.
Yep.
And I guess the question I had for you, having such a successful dad as a coach, what did you learn the most that's helped you the most become a head coach?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, Coach. You're absolutely right. You know, we rode over here from the stadium and everybody's yelling Coach and Beamer, and I still don't know which one they're talking about, whether him or me. But probably just the consistency week to week and knowing what a tough profession this is in a lot of ways, but don't get too high, don't get too low. He has said that a million times, and just try and stay steady and consistent.
One of the things about your dad that we always would talk, everybody would talk about Beamer ball, defense, special teams. I know that's a mantra that you've always had. If you played there, you've been a coach, and now as your team.
Yeah.
Growing offensively, you're kind of relying more on that than ever. And let's talk a little bit about a few of these plays. And
let's go to the tape.
Yeah, we're going to go to the tape and talk about this is maybe just a game. Last week you had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Really got after these guys. Just talk a little bit about this play.
Yeah, I think it's a great job right here. One, you see Nicky Manwari, our safety, over there into the boundary, coming up there, but then being able to sink back into the zone right there. Absolutely. Yeah, Nick's a fantastic player, can kind of do it all for us, run, pass, sinking back into the zone. You see great ball skills right there, making the interception as well. But the thing that I love, Kirk, is after he makes the interception, we spent a lot of time talking about this, getting to the end zone. And then you watch our guys right there. We find the quarterback. You got a cavalry leading him into the end zone, and then having a chance to score on defense right there.
By the way, Coach has a philosophy on interceptions. You want to, because it looked like they followed and you just did it. Yeah. We used to teach our guy when you intercepted the ball, run right down the numbers. Everybody run to the numbers that's going to block for him, and you know the guy's coming down the numbers, so you can block them out or you can block them in. And that's how you score on defense. But your guys just did a great job of that.
Yeah, you talk about scoring on defense. How about scoring on special teams? Obviously, Beamer ball as a special teamer. Desmond just went over and shook the hand of the father of Beamer ball because he's a returner.
Absolutely.
A lot of time focused on this aspect of football, right?
Yeah, it's a huge aspect of it, and we spend a lot of time working on blocking kicks. But the thing that I love about this
you get up in there. You get up in there if you want.
This is an extra point. You know, so I think you can tell a lot about the character and the culture of a football team, how you play an extra point, because you just gave up a touchdown. And you can go out there and feel sorry for yourselves, or you can go out there and try and block an extra point, which our guys just did. And then the thing that I love is how excited we are. We're not happy that we just gave up a touchdown, but that's an opportunity anytime offense, defense, special teams is on the field. That's one thing I learned from my dad. We want to try and score and attack, and that's an opportunity right there to block a kick and go back for get 2 points.
Yeah. Coach, I wanted to ask you about your quarterback Sellers. Now, week 1, completed 43% of his passes, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But week 2, on the road, completed 73% of his passes and 2 touchdowns. What changed from week 1 to week 2 outside of the opponent?
I think, one, he just played within himself instead of maybe going out there week one and trying to be perfect. Just go cut it loose. And he's a great young man. He's extremely poised. He's extremely confident. And he's a gamer. Like, the bigger the moment, the better he plaplays. And this is the biggest moment he's played in.
Is he going goggles today or contacts? What is he doing?
We may have something new for you. Stay tuned.
Okay, good. Hey, there he is warming up. Real quick thing. We talked earlier about controlling your emotions, avoiding the roller coaster. Last week, no one believed. You showed them. Now, a lot of pats on the back this week. Game day's here. Center of the universe of college football. What are you telling your guys this week about just kind of play 60 minutes, control, take this crowd in, but don't be up and down?
Yeah, just be who we say we are. We talked about it at the hotel before we came over. You guys are going to fuel us today with the energy you guys bring in the stadium, but also making sure that we don't get out there and lose our minds. Like every single play, blinders on, you have a job to do. They've handled distractions pretty well. Other than yesterday when Coach Saban came to our walkthrough, we're pretty loose and confident. He walked out on the field, the whole team shut up. And even to this day, they're like, I'm not going to get my butt ripped by Nick Saban.
That's good culture. One thing you can tell your team is they improved more from week 1 to week 2 than any team I've seen in the country, and that's a tribute to you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Coach.
And a chance to step up again in week 3. Shane Beamer, head coach of Gamecock. Shane, always great to have you with us. Looking forward to seeing South Carolina and LSU kicking off on ABC just afternoon, and I think they're going to bring the energy that Shane wants them to bring. That game starts your day on ABC. Texas A&M and Florida, Pete Thamel's been all over the quarterback situations for both of these teams, and Georgia and Kentucky in the nightcap on ABC, the #1 Bulldogs trying to win their first road game of the season, true road game. Jess?
I'm outside Willie B for the ultimate tailgating experience at KICKOFF #22 with the owner here. We got Garrett. Garrett, this place is yours, and who were you again when you went here?
I was Cocky from 1998 to 2001.
So this is very, very fitting.
Absolutely. It's a great place for friends and family to come tailgate right next to Willie B before the football games.
Can you show me inside?
Absolutely. You guys come on in.
Tailgate, because guess what? There's not a lot of space, but there's cold beer, there's air conditioning, and there's a bathroom. So they got me. You'll only find this right here in South Carolina.
Man, what a great place to tailgate. A cool scene right outside Williams-Brice. Still to come. Alabama and Wisconsin. And a all-of-me moment for a Wisconsin walk-on. A remarkable story that Jen Latta will bring you for the Wisconsin player. And Darius Rucker, Dawn Staley bringing the energy. The Gamecock women's basketball team is here. Darius Rucker is going to perform. What a morning in Columbia, South Carolina.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
The thing about favorites is they're only your favorite until a new favorite tells your old favorite to beat it.
Introducing the all-new Sonic Smasher. So good, it's about to be your next new favorite.
Yo, I'm not a big fan of change, but I'm willing to try it. I gotta tell people about this. Yo.
The all-new Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
Wanna live free?
On a tense Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Holy smoke, State 1 and the fans are going wild. Deputy Uris, quick, call for backup.
Backup?
Yes, Deputy Quinn Uris.
We don't need any backup, I got this.
Call backup.
I'm sorry, did you say you wanted a Dr. Pepper?
I said backup.
Look, we don't need any backup, even if he has great hair and famous relatives.
I think we're talking about 2 different things here.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
You know I made it to the playoff.
Without any backup, I get it.
You found an amazing
amazing bargain with this place. If you don't take it, I will.
The listing mentioned ocean views?
Yes, it's ocean view adjacent. See that place? Well, if you look through it, you'll see a gorgeous ocean view.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising, which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance.
Oh, look, a seagull.
That's a pigeon. Seagull adjacent.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Kelsey, what up?
I think I messed up, Hank. I don't think I can walk away from football.
Say less. I got you. Jason Daniel Kelsey, welcome back to football.
This is a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Exactly. Where you watch all the games while stuffing your face with, like, the greatest wings.
So good.
And all the beer.
There we go. Let's go.
See? B-Dubs is football.
It's football.
It's football.
Let's go, sports.
Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road.
It's the Disney Plus Blockbuster offer.
That's right.
$1.99 a month for 3 months of Disney Plus.
That's a great idea.
Get the hottest shows.
Great. You can say that again.
Biggest movies.
Ready? Hit it!
And most epic events.
What happens next?
For a limited time, get 3 months of Disney Plus for $1.99 a month.
Join me.
With the Disney Plus Blockbuster offer.
Trucker out of Philly had a nice long talk, but he's a headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City. I gotta get a move on me for the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that he's the only one. If I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey. Yeah, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, yeah, mama, rock me, yeah. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock
the great Darius Rucker, wheels up, making sure our friend of College Game Day, made it here. Nick, you've been waiting on that song all morning.
I'll tell you what, I want Darius Rucker to know. Every Saturday night we had a karaoke party at our house in recruiting, and the #1 requested song was Wagon Wheel.
For good reason.
He's a closer.
Apparently it was here too. Nick's former assistant, B.O.B., leading Boston College. And you know Boston College could beat 2 top 10 teams in the same season for the first time since they beat Tennessee and Georgetown. Georgetown was 1940, really long time. And then Missouri hasn't allowed a point yet. Their defense has been sensational. Maybe they get Luther Burden loose today. That game is coming up about 12:45 Eastern time. Time for Best in the Game. Brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, and Eli Drinkwitz is certainly helping Mizzou fans keep promises. 11 consecutive scoreless quarters. That is the longest streak by an SEC team since Nick's great Alabama team in 2012 that went on to win the national championship. Now AT&T is keeping us connected as we go to Columbia, Missouri, Boston College in Missouri, and our friend Eli Drinkwitz. Hey, Eli, who do you have? You got somebody with you there walking the field right now?
Yeah, you know, it's all the rage apparently with Herb Street and Kiffin to have a dog with them. So I brought my good friend out of the engineering department, Tiger, our robotics dog. So I figured I'd join in on that craze.
That's pretty good. That's hilarious.
We got
We got to get down there so Ben can meet that tiger.
We need Ben to alpha that dog.
Yeah, exactly.
We need Ben to win. We need to for the future, for the good of the future.
That's beautiful.
Right there.
Hey, Eli, you had...
Look at that dog sitting.
He minds like Ben, too.
He does. He does. That is great. Hey, Eli, appreciate you hopping on with us. Tell us about this football team. You guys have looked very good here early. Bigger test today, obviously, against Boston College. But just overall, such great year last year. So much to build on. But I know it's a new year, new team. What have you learned about this group that has you excited?
Yeah, so far I think offensively we've kind of just picked up where we left off. We replaced a couple of guys on the lines of scrimmage and at the running back position. Obviously Brady Cook and Luther Burden and Theo Weiss have kind of been the features for us. But the thing that's been so impressive to me has been our defensive play. It's really not about any one player. I mean, we're rotating a lot of guys. We're playing 22 to 24 guys, and they're playing to a standard. They're playing with relentless effort. Now, they're going to be tested today, unlike they've been tested so far. I mean, Thomas Castellanos and that offensive line, combined with their rushing attack, is really going to put our guys at the test today. But I feel like, we've built the lines of scrimmage the way you need to in this league, and so that's going to be where this game's battled at.
Eli, the mindset of your team, challenges from having success last year, new year. How's the mindset been? You guys have been dominant in your first two performances. What's the challenges to being able to maintain that kind of focus as we move on in the season?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, they let me listen in to you make jokes and stuff on game day, and I'm jealous as crap because I'm nervous, sick to my stomach, and you're telling jokes about karaoke. But, I think the mindset for our team is this is a new thing. This is a new team. We've got 46 new players. We got new guys on the defensive staff, and we don't want to be compared to last year. We want to be compared to this year. We want to be our team, this team, and a new thing. And so for us, it's about finding that identity each and every week. The only thing that can separate you from your goals is yourself and how you prepare each week. And so our team has been focused in on not being arrogant about whether or not we play in the SEC or anything like that. It's about proving this week that we can play consistent football for 60 minutes.
I just want to make sure you're not using that dog to steal signals or anything during the game.
See? Cracking jokes again. No, this dog's not a signal stealer.
Little Connor Stallion's a little robotic dog. Go ahead, Dad. Sorry.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about your wideout, Luther Burden. I can see what he's doing on the field. He's an exceptional talent, but talk about what type of leader he is off the field for your receiving group and for the offense.
Yeah, Desmond, we actually use you as an example. I think one of the things when you have elite players is you have to identify team goals and personal goals and mesh them together. And Luther wants to identify himself as one of the best players in the country, and the only way to do that is to be a dominant player in special teams. So, I went back and pulled all the great guys who have returned punts for touchdowns, because that's really the only way as a wideout you're going to have an opportunity to compete to be the best player in the country. And so I showed him clips of you, Devontae Smith, Reggie Bush, Charles Woodson, and that's the kind of thing that motivates him. And so he's had a whole new approach to his game and to his demeanor and his practice, which I think elevates the rest of the team. When they see a player who's got all the accolades and all the talk, but when they see him out there on Toughness Tuesday and Winning Wednesday, playing hard, practicing hard, then I think the rest of your team raises their level.
Coach, I wanted to ask about losing Cody Schrader, but to be honest, this dog is too damn distracting. Who's controlling that thing? How many of those are there? And when did you meet this particular robotic dog?
I had the privilege, when you're the head coach of the university, you get a chance to meet a lot of different people. I met this dog last year, and it's just an awesome thing for our university, our engineering department. It's about a $125,000 machine, and it's used all around the country. So we're impressed here by the University of Missouri about what we can do for the rest of the country. We've got one of the largest nuclear research medical reactors in the country on our campus. So there's a lot of really cool things here. Now, about losing Cody Schrader, you don't replace Cody Schrader. You don't replace heart and toughness and daily demonstration of leadership. But what you do try to do is you try to get other guys to emulate those things. And Marcus Carroll, Nate Noel, those guys have really stepped in. They've adopted this low ego, high output approach. And it ain't really about who's getting the carries. It's about getting our offense in the end zone.
Dogs everywhere down there.
There's one of them, Brady Cook, hoping to have a big game against Boston College. Drink, thanks a lot for being with us. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Thank you, M-I-Z.
Z-O-U, bud. Don't pet that dog.
We've got to get to the other Columbia, too, because Ben has to meet this dog.
Yes.
I mean, so it's on the Tigers to make sure it gets done. Alabama ventures into Madtown, only the third time Crimson Tide and the Badgers have played Kalen DeBoer's first road game as the head coach of the Crimson Tide. And Alabama hasn't been to Madison since 1928, but one member of the Tide staff has lived through jump around. Wide receivers coach Jamarcus Shepard lost there twice as a Purdue assistant, and he warned his team this week that they're going to go in and face a bunch of grizzly bears, guys with grown man beards coming out from the chin strap, and they have to be ready to embrace the fight. So he showed them some clips from the movie Troy and said, like Achilles, you have to invite the fight and take it. Well, the first thing for Alabama is making sure that they stop fighting themselves and making mistakes, their Achilles heel.
It was very ugly for Alabama, but they find a way to get it done.
It's frustrating to not perform at your best ability. It was just us not playing to the Bama standard.
The number one thing we have to do is acknowledge where we need to grow at, and then reflect and build off of that.
A Big Ten SEC showdown, Alabama Crimson Tide traveling to Wisconsin.
Obviously, it's a great opportunity for us to show on a national stage who we are. We can't get out of the framework of the preparation just because it's a bigger game.
The guys came in excited, ready to go with the challenge that lies ahead with Wisconsin.
They pride themselves on being tough guys. They play hard, physical.
Right now we're 2-0. The morale in the locker room is very good. Everybody's confident in each other and what we're doing.
We really, really get to see where we are and who we are. If you want to be the best, you've got to play the best. And this just gives you that opportunity.
Game will kick off a little bit after noon as we take a look at today's Goodyear road test, and it certainly will be one for the Crimson Tide against unranked non-conference opponents. They've been really good. Probably worth noting here that both teams will be missing a linebacker in the first half. Jake Chaney from Wisconsin, Justin Jefferson from Alabama, both ejected in the second half of last week's game for targeting, so they'll be in the second half. A rare matchup between these two shades of red, LC.
It definitely is. This Alabama's game, first time in 96 years. Huh. And Madison, listen to this. Wisconsin won that game 15-0. Just thought I'd mention it.
Oh.
Yeah, Wisconsin is a type team that gives Alabama trouble. They can run the ball. They control the clock. They can kick it. If you're a great field goal kicker, they play solid defense. I'm telling you right now, this game is going to be much closer than the experts say. No question about it.
If Wisconsin does that, they're going to have to contain the big playability of Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, Ryan Williams, who we talked about earlier, of course, Jalen Milroe. The Alabama fans got to be a little bit concerned about the injuries that Reese touched on earlier up front. They were very sloppy last week. 13 penalties on offense, 3 fumbles that they lost. They've had 6 fumbles in their first 2 games. So if that happens, that trend has to continue to keep them in this football game, because contain the big playability and win the turnover margin. And the Badgers always have a shot if they can do that at home.
I think a trend of a Luke Fickell team is normally going to be very sound on defense. Well, you're going to have to be, because this Alabama team is very capable of explosive plays. Hey, Coach Saban, let's go to the tape. Okay, I got some tape on this Alabama team, and I'll tell you, Jalen Milroe's quarterback is always going to be awesome. Now, this is an incredible blocking scheme. Obviously, they go down, and then the center and guard come around, and Jam goes to the grip. Now, he's going to make 2 people miss, but utilizing the leverage from the tackle, able to get down the sideline. And you thought he was done breaking tackles? This guy's special. He's able to throw people through the dirt. He's got the power and the speed. Ryan Williams, this is a 17-year-old. Now, listen, they run a little slide protection here. Jalen has nothing but time. And Ryan Williams, a 17-year-old, able to find a spot in the middle of the field, go up and get it at the high point, break a couple tackles. Once again, 17 years old, dancing in the end zone. And then Jalen Milroe. We learned about him last year. Let a naysayer know is how Reese Davis delivered it all. There's a bunch of those still for Jalen Milroe because Coach Saban isn't there. He's a dog. He's a beast. He's a freight train, and he's obviously able to throw the ball incredibly well. He's a leader of that team. You know that better than anybody. Yeah. And on the field, they've gotten better. They're able to hit the home runs. They're able to do things close. They got to continue to build the intermediate game, I think is what Coach Saban said the entire time.
No, he's right about that. You know that Alabama's going to want to hit the home run ball. When you look at a Luke Fickell defense, they're going to be fundamentally sound, very disciplined. They're going to keep everything in front of them. Their goal is to make you earn every yard that you get. They're going to test the patience of Jalen Milroe and see if they can sustain 12, 14-yard drives. If they can slow the game down like that and then be able to experience some sort of success, and then in the third quarter they start doing that jump around, things can get crazy at Camp Randall, man. I'm telling you.
I've never got to play that.
I've been there before, so this is a tough place to play.
It is.
Fans get into it. But, to me, the biggest issue with Alabama so far has been their big, little. And I always hated when our offense played big, little. You make a lot of big plays, but then you have a lot of negative plays and inefficiency on offense, whether it's sacks, fumbles, penalties, all the things that put you behind the down and distance so you can't sustain long drives and keep the ball and control the tempo of the game. Right. So I think with the offensive line getting fixed today, I think both tackles will play today, which they didn't play last week. Okay. I think that will help a lot. Because most of the teams that struggle, they're struggling up front. And hopefully Alabama can get that fixed today.
Yeah, Pete Thamel did confirm that Caden Proctor, the left tackle for the Crimson Tide, should see his first action of the season.
Yeah, I think that's important, Coach. When you go on the road, you want a good offensive line, and they're going to have that for the first time that they thought they were going to have in week one. But the defense of Alabama, there's a lot of youth in that secondary. Can Van Dyke make some plays with his arm to offset that Alabama offense? That's where I think it's a chess match. Both coaches, I think, are going to learn a ton about their team today.
And last week, they couldn't get the ball downfield. He's 2 of 9 on balls thrown 15 yards or further against Alabama, man. That is going to be very, very hard. That's where you go back to, can they win the turnover margin? Can they get that short field? Get the crowd, kind of like what South Carolina is going to have to try to do against LSU. Very similar.
Yeah, and on that subject there, I know the level of competition stepped up. Alabama's defense has allowed one play this year of longer than 20 yards. The Crimson Tide, as you mentioned, sort of lived on the other side of the ball with those big plays. This is a great opportunity for Wisconsin for sure to be able to knock off a top 5 team with Alabama coming in. We are headed inside Williams-Brice Stadium in a matter of moments. This has been a great crowd out here this morning. And Jen, as Wisconsin gets ready to play the Crimson Tide today, what a story surrounding the Badgers.
Yeah, guys, it is the closeness and the camaraderie. It is the bonds and the brotherhood. When you talk to guys who have long left the game of football, that is the stuff that they miss. And the moments often not seen on camera, but in this case it was, that create that culture of trust and support and family.
Next up for the O.
Derek Jensen. During camp, when the days are getting long, morale might be dipping a little bit, we'll have like the freshman karaoke, it's called. And you get to pick your song, and you just got to sing in front of the whole team.
Like many offensive linemen, 19-year-old Wisconsin freshman Derek Jensen says he doesn't like the spotlight. But sometimes when it shines, it reveals some beautiful things.
Falls in our family have always been for football. I was a team photographer for 7 years, and his dad, Jack, was a coach when Derek was little.
I think it was just a way for him to get closer to the game. He really liked coming to the games. He was always there.
Derek was a 2-time All-State offensive lineman in Wisconsin. And when it was time to pick the place he would continue his football journey, his father was all in on one program.
He loved the Badgers when I committed. I just knew it was the right choice to make.
I thought it would be our time to finally have grown children who were doing their own thing, and that Jack and I could really sit back and enjoy. Yeah, that's what I was looking forward to.
On February 10th, 2024, Jack was hunting alone, about an hour and a half north of the Jensens' Wisconsin home. When he didn't return after dark and wasn't answering his phone, Derek's mom Hillary and his older brother Aiden went looking for him.
He had finished his hunt, and he had packed up all his gear. And he hadn't even shut the door on his truck, and we basically found him by the ping on his phone. Just gone. Just gone.
My mom and my brother woke me up. They were just crying, and they just like tried to hug me, and it was just, I don't know. It doesn't really feel real when it first happens. That's kind of how I describe it.
Jack Jensen died of a suspected heart attack at the age of 54. A few months later, Derek made his way to Madison to begin his college football career.
When you lose someone that's such a big fixture in your lives, I don't even think we realized right away what a hole he had left.
It's difficult in ways that I didn't really expect. He was that rock in your life that will always keep you on the right path. And I think that's the worst part of grief. You feel kind of stuck.
On August 6th, he just happened to call. He was talking about how camp was tough. But the most concerning part, I guess, to me was the fact that Derek said that he could not stop thinking about his dad. And that was the week of Jack's 6-month anniversary of his passing.
I was just like almost counting down the days in a way. And it kind of like spiraled in a way that like that date was like all I was thinking of.
Derek Jensen.
That night, as the Badgers gathered for freshman karaoke, Derek found himself standing alone in front of his new teammates.
I honestly just felt like that was the song I knew the words to best. And I do really like John Legend's music. Super nervous, yeah.
I hear the song, I was like, oh, that's a bold song choice.
So I just kind of wanted to give him some words of encouragement, tell him to lock in.
Everyone was shocked. I mean, he rocked it.
Once he got warmed up, he went absolutely crazy. The guys were loving it. My heart was hurting for him when I found out, because obviously I have a father. I know how much he means to me, so I can only imagine what Derek was actually going through. You just never know what people are going through. You never know what's on people's plate.
After that moment, you've seen a weight lifted off his shoulders. When a group like that embraces you, I think it's really, really powerful for young guys.
It's really reassuring to see a bunch of young men like that who are just truly supporting. That says a lot to me.
You just know somebody next to you has always got your back. And I think that's really what makes football special, because you're going through it together.
You give me all of you.
Head coach Luke Fickell told me he was hesitant to have Derek perform that day, given everything he had been through over the last 6 months. But he said he doesn't need to protect his guys from the uncomfortable because he knows they have each other's back. As you know, that clip went viral, seen by hundreds of thousands of people, including one very important and very relevant superstar, Mr. John Legend himself, who said, "I love it." Just a really incredible moment with the Badgers family. Let's go over to Jess Sims, who is with another very important person here in South Carolina.
I sure am. Jen, that was absolutely beautiful. Don hit me and said, we have to go after that. I said, come on, we're fine. We got this. Now, Coach, South Carolina is known as a women's basketball school, but now College Game Day is here for football. Your ladies behind us are being honored at halftime. How big is this for your program?
I mean, this is not just huge for our program, but the state of South Carolina, the city of Columbia. There is no better place, there's no better fans that show up and show out like our Gamecocks.
Well, I was going to say, you have a special name for them. They're not just the Gamecock fans, they're the fams.
They're the fans because we consider them family. They show up. Look, it's cloudy, it's raining, but yet we got thousands of fams right here supporting our Gamecocks.
It's incredible. And I was at practice yesterday, so thanks so much for letting me come and watch this magic happen. Your girls were up here doing TikTok dances. They're connected, they're strong. What are you most looking forward to with this crew this year?
What I'm most looking forward to right now, though, Jess, I didn't get my workout in, but because you and I are standing here, I feel like I'm okay. All right? Y'all know who Jess is, right? Peloton, right?
I was going to say, you want to get some push-ups in?
Class. No, I don't want to do any classes now, but excited for this group, for this team to, what we call it, Raven? What's the repeat tour? Let's go.
I absolutely love that. I mean, you've had a huge summer, a huge week, and now you're finishing off as the Game Day guest picker. Did you do your research?
I did my research, okay, but the Alabama-Wisconsin, it might have swayed me a little bit. Because of the story. Y'all did a great job. I don't know if I'm going to roll Tide roll, but the Badgers have my heart right now.
I heard some boos. I'm not sure, but you still got about 45 minutes to figure it out. The guys are going into the stadium right now. They're headed into Willie B. You're about to head in. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. There's so much more coming up on College Game Day. Don't go anywhere.
It's Jimmy John's new Mediterranean wraps, made with Sabra, hummus, and feta cheese, so you can enjoy fresh summer flavors with every bite. Hey, Cloud, psst, beat it. Much better. Now at Jimmy John's.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation. Are you crying? No. Are you crying because of that other card? No. There's no crying in baseball. Or with the Capital One Venture Card, because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. And you can use those miles on any travel purchase. And you know why? There's no crying with the Venture Card. What's in your wallet? Let's play ball!
I had 20 years of experience as an HR professional, and I had reached a ceiling, so I enrolled in UMGC. I would not be the person that I am today had it not been for the partnership with UMGC.
Litter Robot has now solved the litter box problem for over 1 million pet parents around the world. Hi, I'm Brad Baxter, founder of Whisker and Litter Robot. You'll never scoop again, and your cat will always have a clean bed of litter. Try Litter Robot today.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Should we sell the car and get something bigger?
Yeah, we can do both on Cars.com.
But what if it's twins? What if it's quadruplets?
Are you freaking out?
I got this.
Cars.com. Where to next?
She's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me.
I think I'm gonna take it.
Aren't you a little too old to be playing football?
Wait, what?
They want somebody that can run a 40, not somebody that is 40. When the coach calls your number, you gonna say G56. Bingo. How you gonna celebrate a win? You gonna give everybody butterscotch candy? Probably out your pocket with no wrappers on it. Just gonna give them raw candy. That's nasty, by the way.
With DraftKings, new customers bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets and a month of NFL Plus Premium. The crown is yours.
What's this?
Aflac Duck signed me to an NIL deal.
An NIL deal?
It's name, injury, and likeness.
Aflac.
With a name like Prime, an injury like mine, and a likeness so fine, that's a triple threat.
Couldn't we just tell people Aflac pays cash for expenses not covered by health insurance?
If we want people to understand how Aflac helps close that gap, we got to get you to think bigger, Coach.
You got to be kidding.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
is an official sponsor of ESPN College Gameday.
Miss Terry's not going to like this.
Trouble.
The $6 meal deal is here. It starts with Dunkin's legendary coffee, a toasty, melty bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and a crispy, crumbly order of hash browns. It's kind of the biggest deal in breakfast. The $6 meal deal, available now.
It's officially Taco Bell Live Más Student Section season. Join Taco Bell Rewards. Vote for the top student section in the app. You could get a free Cantina chicken taco. So download the Taco Bell app and make your voice heard.
This is the ACC, where greatness isn't just a goal, it's our relentless pursuit.
Well, there you go.
Where elite coaches and preeminent players constantly strive to redefine what's possible. Here, greatness knows no limits. Here, achievements speak louder than words, and legacies are cemented. This is the ACC, accomplished greatness.
Georgia on the road against a conference opponent.
The #1 Bulldogs face the Wildcats in Lexington.
Georgia looks to once again prove they're the best in the nation.
Georgia at Kentucky, tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
USAA for the military community and their families.
Cut. Sam, I really need to feel that USAA service. Gronkier.
Grunkier. USAA. You could be eligible if your spouse, parent, or even your grandparents served.
That was it. You're in.
As a veteran, I'm already in. You? I wouldn't get your hopes up, son. USAA. Are you eligible?
Electrified. Hanguk Tire.
And when I got there, they have the sushi like...
This is Clem.
They're built like sushi, classy. So
Clem's not a morning person.
I'm tasting it.
Or a night person. Or a people person. But he is, and I can solve this in 4 different ways person. And that person is impossible to replace. You need Clem. Clem needs benefits. Work with Principal so we can help you help Clem with a retirement and benefits plan that's right for him.
Short, but I'm confident, you know.
Let our expertise round out yours.
People always say,
it is what it is.
Until it isn't. Remember before AI when you had to type to search? And when you couldn't ask your phone to do this?
Put these restaurants on a map.
Huh. What about taking a photo and reimagining it? Man, remember when all phones pretty much did the same stuff? Until they didn't.
Get the all-new Google Pixel 9 Pro phones at googlestore.com.
You never want to lose your edge. And the Lexus RX completely understands that.
The thing about favorites is, they're only your favorite until a new favorite tells your old favorite to beat it.
Introducing the all-new Sonic Smasher. So good, it's about to be your next new favorite.
Yo, I'm not a big fan of change, but I'm willing to try it. I gotta tell people about this. Yo.
The all-new Sonic Smasher. Live free, eat Sonic.
Wanna live free?
This will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word. Soda! Because this is Poppy, and Poppy is soda. It tastes like soda, even better than others. It looks like soda, smells like soda, and fizzes like soda. Because it is soda. It will be the soda your kids and grandkids think of when they think of soda. And that's because this soda has none of the bad stuff. Instead, it has all of the flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy.
It is Saturday in South Carolina. Forever to thee. Let's go! And we're coming. We love cocks here. I've been the mayor of Cocktown around here. I love this place. Probably going to be some of this. Some of this. Pounds of pure chaos. Worst kick of all time. The key to the city. Cocky is kicking up a sandstorm. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. It's been a sensational morning outside of Williams-Brice Stadium, but now 51 minutes, 39 seconds till kickoff, and we have come inside what will be a cauldron of intensity and noise for the Gamecocks, 2-0 atop the SEC standings, taking on LSU. Much more on that game. This is an extended play segment for your Saturday in college football, and a game that will be played 3:30 Eastern time. Washington State and Washington, couple of undefeated teams. Typically we see this in the snow at the end of the season, and also Oregon State and Corvallis. Home teams have won this game in the last 5 meetings. Ryan McGee on keeping rivalries from becoming collateral damage of realignment.
Since 1894, Oregon and Oregon State have faced off in a game with many names.
And they call it the Civil War of Oregon.
6 years later, Washington and Washington State kicked off what became the Apple Cup.
The Apple Cup, bragging rights are at stake and anything can happen.
Throughout the largest chunks of that time, the Beavers and Cougars proudly played the part of the have-nots versus the haves.
I ain't ever lost no coup.
Now, not rivalry weekend, but week 3. These games are that times 10. A Big 10.
Strolls into the end zone. Dylan Gabriel.
Might these now non-conference matchups be even more venomous? Do the abandoned 2-pack teams represent even more than before? An entire time zone. The way it used to be versus the way it is now. The Rebels versus the Death Star. A pair of pigskin Pac-12 pariahs, hoping to punish the ones who now dare to return to the empty house, formerly known as the Conference of Champions. New chapter, new era, but still as old school emotion as it's ever been.
Ryan, thank you. Pete Thamel telling us earlier in the show, the Conference of Champions, the 2-pack now. 6 members coming. They'll get 2 more. As for these 2 games, I don't care what conferences they're in. These games need to be played. Oregon and Oregon State with its 128th meeting all time. Second most played rivalry in FBS history. Washington State and Washington certainly have great history as well. Now, let's talk about Oregon and Oregon State first. And the Ducks have been rough on both lines of scrimmage, Nick. They've already given up more sacks than they did last year. And Boise State's Ashton Genty ran wild on them.
Well, Oregon obviously needs to button up their play. You know, a lot of people ask the question, can Dylan Gabriel play to the level necessary? I think the bigger question is can the people around him play to the level necessary so that they have more consistency in their play? They've made enough good plays, but they have so many negative plays, penalties, loss of yardage plays, sacks. I mean, they've got to eliminate that. And the other thing they've struggled with is they've really struggled to stop the run last week against Boise State. So you let the other team keep the ball all the time. So both those things they need to clean up this week against Oregon State.
Yeah, and to your point there at the end, Oregon State has a guy named Jam Griffin who's averaging 125 yards a game. They're not scared to move the ball on the ground. Now, new transfer quarterback Giovanni McCoy. He can spin it as well. New head coach Trent Bray, who loves the Oregon Oregon State Beavers, obviously in there trying to keep the culture that Jonathan Smith tried to bring into Oregon State. So anytime they're playing, it used to be called the Civil War, it's going to be a battle. And to your point, we got to keep these games in the slate every single college football year.
Both of these two teams that got left behind, Oregon State and Washington State, are going to have the massive proverbial chips on their shoulder today. They're going to want to prove a point. Even last year, Washington played the national championship game. They had to convert on 4th and 1 from their own territory to win the game by 3 points. This will be a hotly contested game with Wazoo trying to make a statement.
It really would. I like Wazoo. What I like about them is their quarterback, John Mateer. He ran for 197 yards against Texas Tech. That's a school record for rushing yards by a quarterback. You know, they're going to come out here to make a statement against Washington. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, hard-fought game today, Kirk.
Think about that. They go from Cam Ward and that style of offense to Mateer, now more of a dual threat, and it's been very, very effective. And Washington, we haven't talked a lot about them. These guys played in the national championship last year. Kalen DeBoer goes to replace coach at Alabama. Jed Fish steps in. 59 new players when you add all the players. They only have 2 guys that were in that national championship game that are playing, and yet they have a veteran quarterback at Mississippi State and Will Rogers, 40 career starts. You know all about Will Rogers. I think he can give them some confidence to be able to win a game like this, a rivalry game. But I'm with you, man. There's something about this Mateer running, throwing, making plays, rivalry game. I like the Cougars now.
197 yards.
197.
Yeah.
They really didn't like the fact that people said they made a statement against Texas Tech. Jake Dickert said of Washington State, we're a good team. We beat another high-level team. Steve, they'd like to do it today as well. You're a refugee from the Conference of Champions. What kind of vibe are we going to have in that game?
I think Washington State comes in super confident. They know what they have. They got to play a Power 5 or Power 4 team now in Texas Tech. So I think Washington State's a scary team. Washington, Kirk, you pointed out, when we were at Michigan last week, we saw how much they had to replace. Yeah. And now you look at Washington, they've gotten some wins in doing so. But I think it's a confident Washington State team coming in. I like them also to win the game.
That's scary. All 3 of us.
Yeah. The old fellas in purple. Most of them weren't there last year. Their headgears and their jerseys were there last year. Yeah. Different people for Jed Fish's team. Coming up in about an hour or so, 12:45 on the SEC Network. Boston College and Missouri. Now, this is ranked versus ranked matchup. In the preseason, we said, oh, look at Missouri's easy SEC schedule. They don't play anybody in the non-conference. They're going to cruise. Now they got to deal with Castellano. No shirt. You can't tackle him when you get to him in the rush. And then Brady Cook will be spinning the beam for Mizzou.
Yeah, Brady Cook, man, he has probably the best receiving core, at least one of the best receiving cores in all of college football. Luther Burden is wide receiver number 1 at this point. He's a hell of a competitor. Eli was telling us earlier today about how he prepares and how he makes everyone around him better. When you have your best player on the team, and this guy is the hardest worker, and that's infectious. Everyone feels it, and everyone thrives off of that. So let's talk about Luther Bird. I'm going to show you what he's going to bring to this game today. Okay. I'm talking to his OC, Kirby Moore. He's at Desmond. He's very physical. Now, right here, normally a wide receiver would turn this into a race to the pylon. But not Lou. Lou said, listen, I'm going to plant this left foot, drop this right shoulder, and take you into the end zone with me. I admire his physicality. And then the willingness to block. He's right there in the slot to your left. He's going to run an over route. Now, the ball's going to go to Theo. And watch where he is and how long he has to take this block. He holds the block for 4 seconds. Coach Kirby said, if you don't have the ball in your hands, I want you to go out there and find work. And he found some work. But this is what he does best. It's going to turn to double coverage, just a post route. Coach Saban, I want you to rate this catch. Okay, I'm going to rewind it. I want you to check this catch out. He got 2 guys draped on him. From 1 to 10, watch him catch the ball. And you got arms, limbs everywhere. What do you rate that catch, Coach?
Yeah, well, those kind of catches, being a secondary guy, is what makes me shake my leg off.
There are a lot of things that do that. There are a lot of things that do that.
I think Bill O'Brien has done, to this point in the season, as good a job as a head coach as anybody in the country. Because nobody really thought BC was going to be 2-0 going into this game. And they have a legitimate shot. And I think he's done best is taken Thomas Castellanos and done what he can do offensively and made him a very effective player. And they have been been tough to stop offensively so far this season.
And what's unique in a situation like this, they don't have the athletes to match up with Missouri, but to your point, I think, number one, they're starting to believe in a new philosophy in Bill O'Brien. And what he does a great job of is he's got a quarterback that can run the football, and he makes the defense account for that, uses a lot of different personnel groupings and formations, just confuses the defense, slows them down, and allows that big guy to make a lot of plays.
Mizzou favored by a couple of touchdowns. Burton only has 9 touches all year. Yeah. Might have 9 in this game if he can. Pete Thamel is back with us now. Pete, people keeping an eye on quarterbacks a lot of different places. What else do you have in checked out?
Well, Reese, the big story of the day today, injury-wise, is Connor Wegman. We'll know in pregame warm-ups whether he can play. He's battling an upper body injury. He's been limited in practice. Marcel Reed ready to go for his first career start if Wegman can't go in the swamp. Out here for LSU, Chris Hillen Jr. is not dressed. He will not go for the 3rd consecutive week for LSU. For Bama, some good news against Wisconsin at noon here. Caden Proctor, their star left tackle, will be back. Remember, he got injured in warm-ups before the Western Kentucky game. And then for Colorado, bad news. Torrey Horton, he caught 16 balls against them last year in that overtime thriller. He was questionable this week. I've been told he's going to be a game-time decision, but look for him to play tonight.
You know what, Pete and I were riding in early this morning, that matchup, Torrey Horton, if he can play against Travis Hunter. Horton's already a pro prospect. He can make some money. He can make some money in the draft if he were to play well against Travis Hunter. This is what we have coming up top of the hour on the various networks here. Our game, LSU in South Carolina. Shane Beamer with us earlier. That'll be on ABC. DJ Uiagalelei against Memphis. Feels like a tipping point day for Florida State. Tigers have designs on being the highest ranked group of 5 champion. Gundy's been saying it is a trap. Oklahoma State and Tulsa, and then Cincinnati, Miami, Ohio. They're trending toward keeping that rivalry going, which they should. Continue working on that. That is the College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Spoils the victory for those who will make it eventually to the new 12-team playoff. And the 2 teams that we'll see on ABC in just under 41 minutes certainly have designed on things like that happen. There's Brian Kelly and Shane Beamer greeting on the field. Brian's smiling again. For now. How long? This is the key for LSU in South Carolina. How long until his face matches his shirt? Wow. When that happens, things going well for South Carolina. Not as well for Shane Beamer. Now, LSU has 2 early first-round type draft picks at tackle. That veteran offensive line, led by Will Campbell and Emory Jones, they have protected Garrett Nussmeier very well. But they haven't been able to run the ball. They have no rushing touchdowns. And Campbell already has 3 false starts. That's more than he had all of last year. Now they have to hold their water amidst this cacophony of noise that will be unleashed inside Williams-Brice Stadium. And more importantly, they have to deal with a couple of dynamic edge rushers from the Gamecocks bent on making a name for themselves.
Nussmeier takes the snap, throws, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown!
His first year kind of playing really, but he's a good quarterback. You know, he's got a good team around him. I feel like he's just getting more and more confident. I feel like everybody kind of knew how dangerous Nuss was with the ball in his hand. Now he's just kind of showing.
He's on pace right now to throw 50 touchdown passes. Teams want to play us the way they are. He's a very talented quarterback, and we've got a lot of depth at the wide receiver position.
We just got to find ways to affect the quarterback, sacks, tackle for loss, affect the down and distance, do all we can.
Pressure comes immediately. South Carolina will have it.
Defensively, they lead the SEC in sacks. So this is a defense with an outstanding front.
I know we got the best defense in the nation, but we're going to show it, and we're going to continue to show it throughout this whole season. I have no doubt in my mind.
But Kirk's
warm-ups here at Williams-Brice. You see the pressure percentage that South Carolina has been getting with those 2 guys. Of course, the birthday boy, Dylan Stewart, turning 19 years old. The freshman, number 6, Kennard, number 5. Yes, LSU's offense has protected Garrett Nussmeier very well. Kirk, we got a chance to see Nussmeier's first regular season start. Really impressive what he can do with his arm talent.
Yeah, again, we talked about him in that first matchup because he waited his time and paid his dues and had such command of his offense. And let's not underestimate growing up in the home of a coach. You know, his dad had such an impact on him. He's around the football game. Nussmeier now, his dad is coaching with the Eagles as a quarterback coach. He actually coached with Coach Saban as an offensive coordinator. I think that's a big advantage when you watch him play. He makes the plays he's expected to play that are on schedule, but he also has an ability to improvise and make plays because of his athleticism and his ability to keep his eyes downfield. It's like father, like son. First thing, we're going to go back and look at the USC game, playing in phase, being able to make the reads, understand where to go with the football. He was outstanding in this opener on Sunday night of Labor Day weekend, finds Mason Taylor and makes a big play there. Now, I think the part that if I'm South Carolina, because they got a great pass rush, this is going to be key. The two big offensive tackles, both of them first-rounders. This is going back to a couple years ago when he came into the SEC championship game. See, he's not taking off to run. He's taking off to throw, to find a receiver just like that. And then since just an understanding, you got a guy going in motion. Look how soft the coverage there. That's a safety against his best receiver. He looks covered, but that's an NFL throw. Trusting your receiver, putting it where only he can make a catch on it, allows him to be able to make that play. And I love the moxie. The way he plays this game, I think he plays with a great deal of confidence for a guy that doesn't have a ton of experience waiting behind Jaden Daniels. Coach, I know you know all about his game, and I really think he has a chance to be pressured today, but really take a big step in his maturation.
Well, you know, when we talked to Brian Kelly yesterday, he made an interesting point. He likes his team. He thinks his team works hard. Their preparation does not equate to the performance they've had in the games. And it's going to be a huge matchup today with their offensive tackles against South Carolina's edge rushers because they got two really good ones. And this reminds me of a story when I was at the Cleveland Browns with Bill Belichick. He brings this guy that's a karate guy named Joe Kim in and tells me, you got to go downstairs and talk to this guy because I don't have time for him. Well, Joe Kim teaches players how to attack a source, how to use and read a body position for weakness and strength, and works and develops our pass rushers and becomes the pass rush guru in the NFL. So when we go to the tape on these guys, I want to show you what these guys, Dylan Stewart and Cal Kennard, can do. Is first of all, you know, Dylan Stewart is just going to beat this guy with speed. And I think speed rush is the most important thing because it puts the offensive tackle on the defensive. And then you're going to see him and Kennard both come back on the next one and fake the speed rush and power rush the inside number right back to the quarterback and get another sack. All right, now you're going to see number 5, Kennard, fake the inside rush, fake a power move, go around the quarterback to the outside, and then when you get these tackles to soft set, it opens up pass rush games because the guard and the tackle are on different levels, so now they press the pocket in the middle with the end going inside. So this is going to be a real key today in this game. Can these two pass rushers affect the quarterback?
Yeah, that's awesome tape and so relevant, especially with, as you said, 2 first-round offensive tackles at LSU going against those pass rushers, Pat, that he just showed. That's going to be awesome.
And I'm sure Joe Kim learned this whenever he started hanging around football a little bit more. Home team having a pass rush weapon, such an advantage with the sound. This place is going to be bananas. Should be able to get off on the ball fast. Now let's go to the other side of it. Lenore Sellers, he's obviously dual threat quarterback, able to move around quickly. Rocket Sanders, the running back, is able to run. But keep eyes out for left tackle for the South Carolina team, true freshman, Josiah Thompson. Everybody else has experience. Left tackle, though, with a LSU defensive line that can obviously get it. It's a question mark, and I think Shane Beamer understands that in a big SEC matchup.
I'm glad you mentioned LSU's defensive line because that's a big difference. Their defensive line, to me, now they're getting pressure on the back end, the secondary. They used to have a lot of busts, which led to explosive plays. But through simplification, now these guys can just go out there and react as opposed to thinking. That's a winning formula. Think less, react more, they can go out there and make plays. They're rotating guys in their defensive line, keeping those guys fresh. And now Harold Perkins, when you get those guys in front of Harold Perkins, now he can flow left to right. He can go and make plays. This defense is going to be tested today because the Gamecocks will run the ball. Plus, they got a dual threat quarterback in Sellers, gives them an extra blocker in the running game. But I'm curious to see how Blake is going to defend the running game for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Blake Baker, when he was at Missouri, kind of took South Carolina apart the last 3 meetings. And how Perkins is used is interesting. They've been getting a lot of unsolicited advice about how to use Harold Perkins and get the best out of him. Got an Aflac trivia question there, Steve?
I sure do. Aflac trivia question. Entering week 2, so entering this week before the weeknight games. Garrett Nussmeier was tied for the FBS lead in touchdown passes with 8. Who is he tied with?
Kyle McCord.
Bang!
Come on now, stop it. Stop it. Stop it, baby.
McCord, sir.
Desmond Howard, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Dan.
Poor Kyle McCord. Yes, sir. Poor Kyle McCord. Ship him off to Syracuse. That's worked out okay. Here are the Superdog standings. I don't like how that 0 looks there at the bottom, Pat.
Yeah, I was in the penthouse, now I'm in the outhouse. I'm the champion with no points, and it doesn't look like I'm getting any closer. Look at Coach, though.
Maybe this is the day. Who you got, LC?
I got Wyoming plus 9.5 versus BFC. Wyoming was 7-0 at home last year and returned 19 of 22 defensive players. They play excellent defense. The game is in Laramie, Wyoming. Laramie, Wyoming. Wyoming wins.
Tough game there for BYU. Oregon and Oregon State, it's up to 17. I texted Jimmy last night. I said, I'm getting 16 in Corvallis. I'll take this one. He said it's at 16.5. Now it's at 17. So I'm loving that. Give me Oregon State.
Well, since my first head coaching job was at the University of Toledo, and they're big dogs today, I'm taking the University of Toledo. I'm a MAC guy, all right, so I love the MAC in this matchup, so I'm hoping that Toledo can come out slinging it.
Rockets.
I'm pulling for Mississippi State. I got 20.5 points over NC State. Listen, NC State will probably win this game. I got a new algorithm. I got some points last week, so I'm going to stick with it. Come on, let's go, Louisiana Tech.
I don't have an algorithm. I'm just going back to the well with Kennesaw State. San Jose State, for the first time in school history, beat Air Force. Coach Ken's doing his job. 18.5 is a lot. It's a long travel spot for Kennesaw. They're looking for that big FBS win. I'll take it.
Let's talk algorithms. As soon as I saw that dog with Eli Drinkwitz today, I picked Boston College. Yep. I said, give me Boston College. And obviously Castellanos is shirtless. This Boston College team obviously surprised the world with the Florida State win. I think they're much more signed than people think, getting 14.5.
I'm going to go with the mean green of North Texas. They're getting double digits in Lubbock. Texas Tech hasn't been able to stop anybody yet. So we'll swing for the fence. They've got a great library sciences program there at North Texas, so hopefully they can turn that into a victory. Here are the if you're such a MAC guy, how come you didn't take the 50 or whatever the alma mater Kent State's getting today?
Kent State couldn't beat St. Francis last week or something. I'm not going against Tennessee.
Superdog recap, our celebrity guest picker, the head coach of the Gamecock women's basketball team. Oh, look, there are two of your friends, Pat. Dawn Staley and Sir Big Sir.
That is the only thing that me and Dawn Staley have in common. She's incredibly accomplished professional and an absolute, I assume, greatest celebrity guest picker of all time.
She's going to whip up the crowd, see if they can get Sandstorm rolling early for the Gamecocks.
Sir Big Spur.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
New Dunka Latte is perfect.
Made with coffee milk, which is hard to explain. I'll say.
Is that Kristen Wiig?
All we need now is a famous person to say how rich and creamy it is. And delicious. And explain it.
The Dunkin' way to latte.
When you automate sales tax with Avalara, you don't have to worry about things like changing tax rates or filing returns.
Avalara.
Let's go to our next segment, Fairest Calls, inspired by Geico's fair and fast 24/7 claim service.
Do we have to do the Geico stuff while I'm here?
Yep, we do. Let's play the clip.
Holding, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
This literally happens every game. Can we just skip to the action?
Nope, nothing but fair and fast claims, just like Geico. Here's the next clip.
But I don't want to play the clip.
Pass interference, number 34.
Wow, doesn't get any fairer than this, boys.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
It's Jimmy John's new Mediterranean wraps, made with Sabra, hummus, and feta cheese, so you can enjoy fresh summer flavors with every bite. Hey, Cloud, psst, beat it. Much better. Now at Jimmy John's.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Why pay too much for cable TV when it costs less for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Throughout humanity's existence, there have been ideas, strides, and accomplishments. Simple changes that redefine everything. For example, this will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word. Soda! And that's because this soda, Poppy, has none of the bad stuff. Instead, it has all of the flavor. The future of soda is now, and it's called Poppy.
College Gameday is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Noise and the energy and the heat all turning up inside Williams-Brice Stadium. Gamecocks and LSU. Seamus still leading the way with our celebrity guest picker standings. Michael Phelps fell a game under 500 last week. Obviously, the Texas-Michigan game making the difference. Our celebrity guest picker today, she doesn't know much about falling below 500. What she does is win championships, cut down nets, go to Final Fours, won the NCAA title in April. The great Dawn Staley is here. You ready? Coach, Dawn,
I am super excited. First time for everything, so let's go with these picks.
Well, you know what? Before we start the picks, we've got a UFC fight tonight. I know that's right your wheelhouse.
Massive one on ESPN Plus, 10 p.m. start. Noche happening at the Sphere in Las Vegas. A love letter to Mexican combat sports from the UFC to celebrate Mexican Independence Day weekend. In the main event, Sugar Sean will be utilizing the Sphere to his advantage. He will get a massive win, but it's about to be a spectacle and entertainment in sports. I can't wait to watch it at like 3 a.m. tomorrow morning.
As we get to these Coors Light Saturday selections, Dawn, it's a good idea to have a strategy. I understand you have a new strategy now for making picks. What you love
first
to do?
of all, I wanted to congratulate Don. I mean, winning a championship, I know how hard it is, and you've done it 3 times. Fantastic respect for you. Great job. I appreciate that. But yeah, I haven't been picking so well. So we were coming back from the Alabama game, and my granddaughter was in the back on Saturday night, and somebody else that I picked lost. And she said, Papo, you're not picking very well. And I said, I know, honey. And she said, well, I know what you should do. Whatever team you think is going to win, pick the other guy.
No.
And you'll be fine.
Too early to be fading yourself, Coach. This is too early to be fading yourself, but if it works, it works.
So we're going to see what Nick thinks is the opposite of what will happen. We'll start with Boston College and Missouri coming up in less than an hour.
I think Boston College will keep it close early, but Missouri, too many weapons on the perimeter. Missouri runs away with this game late.
Missouri's been one of the most consistent, dominant teams at this point in the season. I have to go with Missouri.
You know what? I'll take Boston College. They're my super dog, but also, why not? They seem to be playing better football than ever. They believe. Bill O'Brien, they called him Tea Kettle. Bill O'Brien, when he's with the Belichick, seems to be completely cool with Boston College. I see them winning.
The only tigers that I like are the ones that's in the zoo and the safaris. Right? I'm going with Boston College. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Man, I know you're a legendary basketball coach. I can see why. Terrible pick. Missouri's defense has improved. They are now a complete team. Missouri big.
I don't know about big. I think Castellanos can keep him in it. I think his ability to run around and Bill O'Brien's ability to get his team ready to go. I think you're using his granddaughter's method. Go the opposite, whoever you think.
I wouldn't fake myself. Week 3? No.
Too early.
No.
Yeah, I got Missouri.
All right, backyard brawl. The line opened to this at 5.5. Now it's down to just a couple. West Virginia Pitt.
I went for West Virginia when they played Penn State. They really let me down. Too much Desmond Reed today. I'm going Pitt Panthers.
Well, I'm all for the West Virginia Mountaineers, man. I think their ability to run the dog is going to give them the edge. Beat the hell out of Pitt.
Amen. I got West Virginia, Garrett Green, C.J. Donaldson Jr., Jaheim White doing their thing. But West Virginia's going to have to stop the pass. It's going to be a very close game. Obviously, West Virginia wins.
I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So I got to go with the home state in Pitt.
Hey, is West Virginia won the game this year?
Yes, we beat Albany last week.
Well, see, Pitt, 21 points last week and confident. Pitt.
Yeah, they were down big. I mean, that game was as bad as it could be against Cincinnati, and they turned it completely around. I think they become a confident football team. Coaches, one of his old quarterbacks, Eli Holstein, brought them back, playing with some confidence. I like Pitt in the backyard brawl.
Crowd singing along, Darius Rucker, Hootie, hold my hand. Great atmosphere here. Memphis and Florida State.
Florida State's coming off a bye. They hit the reset button. I'm going with the nose.
I tell you what, I'm not going to say Memphis State because I get criticized for that. It's the University of Memphis. And Florida State hadn't showed much this year. I know they're coming off a bye, but sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. So I'm going with the University of Memphis.
Oh, wow.
It feels so good. It feels like I'm walking in Beale Street right now with Hootie jamming through this stadium right now. It is 1,000 degrees, and I think Memphis gets a big-time win over Florida State alongside you, Coach.
Florida State not. I saw the Boston College game. I'm going to go with Memphis. And sentimental St. Jude's is there. So Memphis and St. Jude.
There you go.
Memphis, not so fast, not so fast. If I didn't go to Florida State, I wouldn't pick them. Florida State.
Don't forget, this is Mike Norvell's former team, Memphis, before he came to Tallahassee. I can't believe all the disrespect towards Florida State. I apologize for that. Florida State. Florida State.
No, there's no disrespect. We're celebrating.
Victory Bell, Cincinnati and Miami, Ohio.
Mike Garrett went to Miami, Ohio, right? Matt Garrett. I'm going to Miami, Ohio. Yeah.
Mike Garrett probably did too. He went to USC. Actually,
I know this is kind of a rivalry game, but I'm going to stick with the MAC and go with Miami. They've been pretty consistent lately.
Cincy bouncing back after that giveaway to Pitt last week. I think they play well. Give me Cincy.
I'm going to go with Cincy. I've been to their zoo. Great zoo.
Miami, Ohio plays Notre Dame last week. That's right. You're looking at Notre Dame, Cincinnati. They beat them, Cincinnati.
I like that logic, Coach. I'm going to go. I'm going with Cincinnati. I've been to the zoo too. It's a great. They have white Bengal tigers. Wow. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bearcats in this one.
Learned something new. I didn't know Dawn was such an animal aficionado there.
I appreciate that.
Tulane and Oklahoma.
Tulane keeps this game close, but Oklahoma takes it late. I'm going Oklahoma by a field goal.
I think Oklahoma's going to bounce back. They've been one of those teams that's been a little up and down, so consistency and performance is going to be a key for them.
Sorry, you're taking Oklahoma. I thought you were going to do Tulane there. That's because of the whole Pawpaw thing. I'm going Oklahoma. College game day implications on the line. I do believe everybody can sense it. Everybody can feel it. I got Oklahoma doing their thing.
Welcome to the SEC. It just means more. Oklahoma.
It's a nice pick. Way to go. It's Tulane's first rollover. So go with Tulane.
Man, this one, you wonder if Oklahoma got their wake-up call last week against a kind of an inferior opponent in Houston. And now they get Willie Fritz's former team, Tulane, and Coach Summerall takes over. I think this is a close game. Be careful of Oklahoma looking ahead to next week that Pat's talking about. Tennessee, all the hype. They better be focused on this game. This could be a tough one.
Put the whammy on Kentucky last week in this situation. You got about a minute or so before the national anthem. You'll enjoy that with us. We have time to pick the Apple Cup.
I'm going with Washington. They got some guys on defense, some dudes on defense with Zach Durfee and Thaddeus Dixon, so I'm going with Washington.
I'm going to take Washington State. I think they've just shown a little bit more so far this season, so I'm going with Washington State.
There's a Belichick on staff at Washington. Give me them.
I'm going with Washington. women's basketball coach Tina Langley over Coach Etheridge.
That's a good reason. I'm taking Washington. Oh, they won 9 out of the last 10. Washington.
I'm going Washington State. Reese talked about it earlier on the show. He said, or last year, it was a close game. Washington went all the way to the national championship. It's a rivalry game, kind of expect the unexpected. John Mateer's playing well, running and throwing. And Kyle Williams has 5 catches on the year for Wazoo, 3 touchdowns. We got Wazoo.
Okay, let's get one more very quick one in Oregon State. I'm going with the Ducks.
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon. I think Oregon State's got the kind of team, though, just from a mentality standpoint, that can give them problems, but I think Oregon has too much talent.
What's the mascot of Aflac?
Duck.
Go with them.
Go with them.
Oregon, they got the best uniforms.
Hell yeah, we're in it together.
That's another good reason to pick up. Hey, Oregon.
I'm going Oregon, but this is my super dog. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Oregon will win it, but I think they're going to hold on to their hat like they did the first 2 weeks.
All right, when they first played way back in the day, they were called the Lemon Yellows, and I think you find out why now with those colors and those great uniforms. We have more picks coming up in just a few moments after you join all of this crowd, this raucous Gamecock crowd, as they get ready for LSU inside Williams-Brice Stadium. The 2001 entrance will be coming. And we'll have the national anthem now.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
National anthem. F-16 flyover from the 79th Flight Squadron from the 20th Fighter Unit at Shaw Air Force Base here in the state of South Carolina. Got a few more picks to make. We'll make sure that everything gets straightened up after we all stood and listened to that rendition of the national anthem. Notre Dame last week lost to Northern Illinois. We get Pat all situated here, and Notre Dame now plays Purdue in-state rivalry. Boilers would like to make a statement.
Yeah, Fighting Irish got caught slipping a week ago. I think that they're going to bounce back. They learned their lessons. I got Notre Dame actually big over Purdue.
Yeah, when the team gets humiliated, they usually respond, and I think Notre Dame will respond this week big time.
Pat, how we doing?
Purdue.
Okay, we doing all right, too?
Taking Purdue. Yeah, I think so. Taking Purdue, Riley Leonard. We'll see what happens. Purdue.
I'm going with my guy Marcus Freeman. They'll bounce back. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, good take. They play at Purdue, crash. That means die. Slow that Notre Dame team down. Real close, Notre Dame.
Ooh, the tall grass.
Yep.
Tall grass.
Has Purdue.
I got you. Purdue.
Anybody but Purdue.
Anybody but Purdue. It's like with them with West Virginia and Pitt. That's how you were with IU and Purdue, right? Hate Purdue. I'm careful with this one because Ryan Walters is a defensive coach. Bye week last week. Chance to really focus on what Notre Dame's doing well and what they're struggling with. Chance to try to expose it. At the very least, I think I like Marcus Freeman. I like Notre Dame. I think it's gonna be a challenge for them. They got to get things right on offense. I like them to win, but it's gonna be close.
80% of the fans believing the Irish will bounce back. The numbers gone down a little bit. Texas A&M and Florida. Thamel telling us earlier in the day both teams have quarterback questions. Gators expected to play both DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz, with Mertz starting. Game time decision for Connor Wigman, the Aggies quarterback. Who wins this game, A&M or Florida?
Low-scoring game, maybe painful to watch, but I think that Lagway, the quarterback at Florida, when he gets his shot, he doesn't give a damn, right? Go out there, just play free. I think he's going to be the difference. I'm going Gators.
I'm taking the Gators as well because Wakeman is questionable for the game. A&M's quarterback. So these two guys in Florida, one of them is going to get it going for them.
I think Elko will be able to figure it out. Give me Texas A&M going into the swamp, and real big conversation happening in Florida starting immediately afterwards.
No chopping for the Gators. Texas A&M Aggies.
Not so fast, my friend. Brian.